Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we have another audience member with us on the show, and they're going to share their Ketu experience. And I want to thank them for taking this opportunity for coming out and sharing their personal journey. We have Ishtava with us on the line, a young adult who's getting ready for their bright future ahead in college. They're just at the tail end of finishing their Ketu Mahadasha, and I'm really excited to share his personal journey. So there's other individuals who are going through a hard time in their high school, whether it be falling back from social circles, having no friends, and being scared for the life ahead. So they can relate and see how Ketu shapes these years and how to come out more joyful. So Ketu can impact anybody at any age. Today we're lucky to have a very young adult. We're gonna spend some time getting to know his journey. And please welcome. And Ishtwa, I want to welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, sir, for welcoming me. And I'm so thankful to you for giving me this opportunity to speak up. And yeah, I hope everybody learns something from this. And I hope we all can grow up to be the best versions of ourselves. That's it.
Absolutely, yes. Um, to everyone watching, because of privacy reason, we're gonna keep the chart hidden off the screen, but there's two things I want to mention. Ishtawa is Libra ascendant, and he had his Ketu Mahadasha with Ketu in the 11th house with Venus and Saturn there as well. So he has been going through Ketu Mahadasha since 2019, and Ketu Mahadasha is going to end in 2026. So he's just in Ketu Mercury period, getting ready for his exams coming up. He'll tell you all about that. So you were quite young. You were still not entered high school yet. So how did it feel for you at such a young age to notice such a big change? What were some of the things that happened? I know you mentioned there was a move involved. Maybe you had to leave some friends behind. So like, how did it start out for you at that age? What pain did you feel from K2 at a young age?
I mean, most pain that I felt from that time. So it was started in 2019. I was around 12 at that time. Yeah, very young. And that time, what happened was I was getting detached from my friends somehow or the other. I didn't see that coming. Like, I was one of the most jolly students and one of the most, so close to people that people I didn't see people going away from me. And when that period started, I didn't know absolutely about anything about astrology and all. And when people started going away, I felt very, very secluded from everything. I felt very isolated from things. And then I had to shift because my father had bought a place somewhere else. So I had to shift to a entirely new place. And when I shifted there, I met new people, but it felt like I couldn't connect to them at all. For a very long duration of time, I was not able to connect. And I was looked down upon by many of the individuals because of many issues, primarily language issues and all those things. And yeah, that kind of hurt me that time. Of course, that's what hurt me the most. And the the most effective thing that has stuck with me from that time was my results in my exams. I have been a very bright kid according to my parents since I was young. And the worst phase of it started when I turned like 15 to 16 for 4 years
Oh,
past the Ketu Mahadasha period.
so a little bit more towards the Ketu Mars, Ketu Rahu period.
Right, right.
Okay. So
So,
um we'll get into the details of the years. One overall question I want to ask, general, is
yes.
how was your health in the past 7 years? Did Ketu affect you in any type of emotional stress or mental stress or like physical stress or any other symptom? Was your health generally good overall, or were there some ups and downs in your health as well?
Yes, there were a lot of ups and downs actually. I was constantly ill throughout the whole phase of Ketu Mahadasha, and I had many issues which I couldn't reveal to my parents. I had this, it started like I had pain in different parts of my body out of nowhere, and it was very sudden. It felt very, very, very strong amount of pain. In mental pressure, it had increased extremely as soon as I like was around 15 or 16 at that age. I had
Yeah.
extreme amount of mental pressure of different things, not primarily only studies, but many other things that were affecting me at that time. But yeah, my health was not at the best shape. And upon that, I started working out in that phase of my time. So I was able to, nullify the effects as much as I could by working out as much as I can. But I still had many mental issues. I was getting down into addictions and all those things, and I had to get off that. Whatever consumption of I could, I am saying addictions in the sense not only YouTube is an addiction, but many other source of content which is not good for teenagers to watch. I was getting into those things, and yeah, and that affected my mental health very badly because I was exposed to it without anyone telling me anything about it and having no knowledge about it. So it took me a great deal of time to get out of that phase. And yeah, that affected my health, not only mentally, physically also. It was very, very bad at that time.
And it takes a lot to acknowledge that you're walking down the wrong path. Sometimes people dig a very deep hole before they even realize they're down this addiction path. And I want to congratulate you on that, that you were able to turn your life around at such a young age. And for everyone watching this podcast today with us, I just want to make sure and inform you one thing that Ishtawa is over the age of 18. We're not interviewing a minor. So he's a very young adult, and some people who are in their early college years and they can relate back to the high school and the younger days to this kind of a dasha. That's why it's very nice to hear a dasha experience for someone at a very young age. But just to clarify, he is not under 18. So, um, your physical symptoms you mentioned, there were a lot of body pain and stuff. Because
Yes.
people, when they go through keto at a later age, they tend to say they need to change lifestyle around. They need to make dietary changes stuff. When you're a young age, your parents tend to overlook as well. Hey, there's nothing wrong with you, or hey, just look after yourself a little bit, because this is the age where a lot of things get overlooked and overshadowed, right? So how did you overcome that pain? Was it just simply working out, or did you realize that, hey, you have to turn your life around now? This is not good. The pain, did you go to the hospital visits, get some x-rays done, or were you just simply able to eliminate it with simple um, everyday lifestyle changes like walking, jogging, working out? So what helped you uh, fight that pain?
It was a combination of both the things. I had to go to hospital a few times
Okay.
because I had it during my Ketu Saturn period, Saturn on the Dasha of the Ketu Mahadasha. So at that time, I had sciatica. It's like a back issue where your spine is involved. It gets tangled between nerves. So that caused me a lot of pain. It took me like a month and a half or more than that to get out of it. It took me workout routines, going to physiotherapist every day for 1 month continuously to get out of that period. Before that, all the health issues, I was able to simply tackle it by uh, two things, mainly meditation and also working out. In meditation, I mean mantra chanting and all these things that help me out. And in other than that, yeah, simple lifestyles that help me a lot. It like shifted everything around. Like I used to sleep at night, very long night hours. I used to pull off a lot of work at that time. So I was sleeping at around 2 or something. And that was like deteriorating my health so badly. As soon as I shifted from that period, I started getting out at 5:30 or something. And then doing all the routines and doing everything in a proper structured manner. Everything just shifted like automatically. I just didn't have to do anything after that. Yeah.
Ketu wanted discipline, came Saturn. So, everyone watching, I just want to mention one thing, that Ketu is all about healing. And it depends on how fast you're able to recognize the patterns. Someone so young, someone so naive, they probably don't know what it takes to heal. And when we're talking about sciatica pain, lower back pain, where you have to go to physiotherapy, it's not one, not two, many, many cases I've dealt with. I'll do a video on this separately. This is the ancestral burden that you've been carrying, and that you have to release, that you have to work through, that you've been holding on to. And when you're not able to release that, it turns into physical pain in the lower back nerves. Your Kundalini wants to rise, yet there's so much baggage sitting there that it ruptures there. And it leads to all sort of different kind of pains here. So that's a topic for a different day, but um, ancestral burden is also seen through Saturn, and that's where Iштva felt that pain there. And now he's healing through it, which is good. Um, When did the word Ketu came into your life, and how did you know at such a young age that there's something called Ketu Mahadasha, or Ketu has entered your life now? So when were you able to relate your life to the word Ketu?
It was actually during Sadi Sati period when it started for me. I was 16. I was just going to give my board exams in India. So in 10th standard, it's a big thing in India. So yeah. And then my mom and all started searching, oh, is he having a good period? Is he going to be able to do good? Classic thing for parents to do in India. So they started checking that, and I was getting interested. Ki, how do you find things out by planetary positions? And I was a little skeptical about it. How is this working out? And
Okay.
as a kid, I'm gonna just add an element over here. As a kid, I was very interested in astronomy and seeing quantum mechanics as a whole.
Hmm.
So that gave me another perspective. Ki, okay, I should look at it. I shouldn't just blatantly say this is wrong or right. I should just look at it once. So Saturn Sadhisati, I was trying to understand that. I was trying to understand astrology as a whole itself. 1 year later, after that, I had exams, went and board exams. It didn't go the best way, but it didn't go bad. But yeah, it was not up to my parents. My parents wanted to me to be a board topper or something. I couldn't do that fully. But yeah, that was like a hurtful thing at time. But now I'm healing. But that was the time when I got to know about Ketu Mahadasha. It slowly started entering my life. I understood, okay, Ketu is the Karaka of Moksha, and
Okay.
it's sitting in my 11th house and how it's working.
So it was a little bit into the dasha that you realize the word what Ketu is. So
Yeah.
Ketu finds its way of showing itself that, hey, I'm in your life now, and you want to do more and more research on it and get to know yourself a little bit more, how this is working out and how your planets are placed. So, um, in your case now, you said one of the biggest changes that you saw that you weren't able to perform as much. But Ketu is a life jacket. Whether you be an adult, if you're worried about your finances, Ketu doesn't give a zero bank balance. There's some money coming in from somewhere to pay your bills. In your case, you're so young and you're still don't have the financial responsibility, but you have the expectations of marks. Were there any times or days when you actually failed, or would you say you have always passed? Like even though you didn't pass with A plus, but you kind of made it through. Like Ketu kind of kept you alive, like over the failure mark. Ketu got you through school. Like, how was that experience?
Yeah, if definitely my grades went down extremely, but it felt like some helping hand was always there. Like I started going into bhakti direction also a lot. I started chanting mantras that time only. And as soon as I switched towards the spiritual aspect of life and all, I felt like something was there to help me all the time.
Okay.
That's when all
So
got interesting.
I'll talk about your spiritual shift in a second. I want to finish all the Maya stuff. Like, so during Ketu Mahadasha at a young age, you didn't fail. You made it through. But the biggest awakening or the biggest shock when Keto started when you were so young was your move. Like your parent had to move for their work or other reasons and stuff like this. You guys moved to a new place, new location, new culture, new language, like you said, where you didn't fit in with the social circle to your friends. It took you some time maybe to blend. You had to leave all your childhood friends that you grew up with and try to fit into a new circle. So how painful was that now, being isolated completely? Someone so young, because that's part of the youth growing up. We rely on our friends to be social, to share our experiences. Our life is school or friends, school, home, friends. That's about it. So having such an important part taken away, how did you cope with that loneliness or that so-called bullying or tough days at school? How was that experience there?
Actually, I used to shift a lot because of my parents' work since a young age only.
Okay.
So it didn't affect me very abruptly. But the school changed, and that time COVID started, so I didn't have to go to school. And that time, here in my current apartment that I'm staying over here, I didn't fit in with the social circle that time because I was not so potently good enough with the languages they spoke. And it was not only that, it was my behavior as a whole. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, there were some differences that can be surely seen also. And that period of my life hurt me very much because there was no social circle because of COVID. I was not going out anywhere. I didn't have phones and all. I could only speak to my mom because my dad had to go for work and mom was busy with chores and all these things in the house. So yeah, as I was saying, sir, I got very isolated at that point. And yeah, that kind of hurt very badly. It sting me so hard. That's when I started look at to look at other subjects. That's when I start making my studies as my comfort space. Okay, I don't have anything, but I have my books, and I can always talk to them. Yeah, that's how I got isolated. That's
So
how I.
yeah, it's interesting how this dasha plays out for everybody in every different house. So Ketu in the 11th is isolation and moksha. So for you, it not only did you have to go through COVID at that time, you had no phones, no communication with outside circle as well. So those 2, 3 years, you were really fighting isolation and just being with yourself. And before I ask the other question, what I want to ask you is now, at what point did the spirituality shift came, or when did you discover the mantra or the meditation, and how did you discover? Was it through YouTube? And what kind of led you on this path a little bit to say, hey, some breath work kind of helps you ground, or there's some positivity here. So let's talk about a little bit introduction of
Yeah.
spirituality into your life. How did that come about?
So as I was kid, I was like very attached to some of the deities in India. I was very attached to Lord Krishna, and yeah, it felt like an integral part of my life itself. I looked at him as a brother. And the spirituality shift mainly, and then I had a period where I didn't believe in God at all. I became like a complete believer. Like, oh, if I can't see something, then how can I believe it? Then quantum mechanics came in my life. Then spirituality came in my life. Okay, maybe I don't see it, but there is something. And the age specifically was around 14 to 15. And yeah, at that time, I got to know about all meditation and all stuff through YouTube, of course, because that was the only source of my information. And about mantra chanting, I got to know at the age of 15. Yes, 14, I started the meditation journey, just meditating 2 times a day in the morning for 20 minutes and night 20 minutes. And then at 15, got into mantra chanting about my favorite deity. And then I formed a connection back again. And then slowly from there on, in 16, all these addictions and all these things, 15, 16, I had to go through that phase. So it was hand to hand. So it felt like mantra was trying to kind of protect me. Something was trying to protect me from all that things. I had a dip in 16 years of age around that time. And then 17 to 18, I had the whole healing period. So I'm going to be 19 next year around-ish. So this is one last year. I had a whole change with that
Yeah. So
mantra
you've seen
chanting.
both sides of the scale. You have gone down the path of darkness or the negative energies, like the
Mhm.
scrolling, the inappropriate content, and the addictions on that side. And then now you see the positive side, the mantras or the meditation, the positive energy, how it can have a beautiful impact on your daily lives. So you're choosing to
Mhm.
walk the right path, would you say, right? More so than the negative side.
It felt like some guiding hand was always there with me. I am gonna definitely say that. It felt like something was always there with me to help me out. In the worst situations, I always got saved. I always got saved, and I am thankful to the universe for that. I met the right people at the right time. They rescued me from many things.
There's people that adapt spirituality or mantra or meditation, breath work, any type of grounding practice, whichever one suits them. Some people adapt it in their 20s, some adapt it in 30s, whenever Ketu comes around and turns their life around. For you, it came at a very young age as you're stepping into adulthood. Now, would you say this is a kind of practice that you're going to carry for the rest of your life, that you will make sure that you find time to do some breath work to help you ground and help you balance? So is this a kind of practice that you see moving towards in your life that you want to make sure that you always have it part of your life?
Absolutely, yes, because last year to this year, 18, 17 to 18 years phase, I've gotten very deep into sadhana. I've been trying to rise my kundalini through the seven chakras. Of course, I've not gone through the seven chakras yet, but I've been trying on that. And yeah, I'm going to continue this practice because this helps me think in multitudinal directions. I won't be narrow-minded because of this. I feel more grounded because of this. I have more understanding about everything as a whole in this. I am detached from I'm not completely detached from materialism, but I'm not completely attached to it because of that. And I'm going to keep this going on as much as I can.
So now you have learned that everything is just a Maya or the Matrix, that, hey, yes, we can buy certain things or cars or shows and titles, whatever, but don't be attached to it because it can be taken away or stripped away from any time from your life. That it's just an illusion, that we're borrowing things from the universe or the nature and we have to return them at any point. We're just here to witness and experience and have temporary joy.
Yep, that's exactly everything that I had to go through.
Yeah.
And I won't say it has turned me into I've become the best self of my life yet, but I hope to keep working towards it as much as I can. That's
So
it.
someone at a young age, let's say even people in the college who are watching other young, like some other ones that are watching, even through life, someone like I know therapy or counseling or ancestral healing isn't available all through India. Through meditation, through breathwork, were there days when you were just so lonely or sad that you cried to heal? Were there days when you were just writing your thoughts down in journaling just by yourself that you wish life was different? Like on your own before watching YouTube or learning a thing or two about healing, did you see yourself doing any of this in Ketu, just being so lost and trying to like write down your thoughts or crying it all out? Like, did you see any of that?
As I told you, sir, I got attached to my subjects that time. That was the only form of self-expression. I was getting very attached to quantum physics and all of those things. So that's like a very mystical thing. And to get out all of that trauma and all the things, whatever emotional attachment I had, I went into things which were not related to humans as a whole itself, as a mystical thing. And yeah, I did do journaling at that period of time. I was writing down many ideas here and there. I didn't cry as a specific thing a lot because I had a very weird perception about crying as a whole. And yeah, that got broken down through the years. But yeah, I didn't cry at that time.
Were you conditioned? Would you say it was one of the conditioning growing up that you only like good strong men don't cry and you're not allowed to cry? Like, were you given that space of comfort to ever even cry comfortably, or was it just like shunned upon, or like it was such a taboo thing for you to cry? Like, what stops you from having a good cry as a human being?
Um, Actually, it was my own perspective that framed it because my parents never stopped me from crying. It's like it's okay to be emotional, and they always supported me for this. But the thing was, it was my perspective as a whole. Key, if I keep crying, I'll be weak and I cannot support my parents. And if I'm growing old with time and they're growing older, and I don't want that my weaknesses at any point of my mind to, have an effect, long lasting effects. So I didn't want that as a whole. And that's the reason I stopped myself from crying. But yeah, it had a negative impact, definitely.
And Ketu takes away friends that are no lo in the 11th, what happens? Ketu takes away friends that are no longer on the same wavelength or same frequency as your mindset, right? Would you say you made some new friends who were maybe into quantum physics as well, or shared some kind of similar interests, or maybe someone who's also trying to pursue the same degree that you're gonna go into for college? Like, did you make some new friends that are more heartfelt kind of connections yet?
All my connections from last 1 year, like whoever I got attached to, I initially met many of them, but not get attached to them. The attachment felt very karmic throughout the last 1 year. I got detached from many people last 1 year. My very, very long friend, and I have lost her. So we have lost connection with each other. So, but new friends have definitely come in my life. But yeah, as soon as I let my addiction go, Ketu started shifting everything around.
Yeah.
It like, just flipped the boards entirely.
Then you see the universe working for you basically once you're on the right
Yeah, yeah.
bold path. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So your Venus is also gonna sitting in the 11, looking at the fifth there. So through Ketu, through the Dasha, have you learned to balance life, like work and play? Let's say, have you learned to take some time off for yourself away from studies to say, hey, working out a little bit is important, or maybe, you know what, spending time in nature or kicking back, listening to some music or joyful music is important because Venus is also going to activate your fifth. But overall, the whole theme of Venus is to balance work, play, life, right? So now, have you realized how important it is not only to study, but also to give yourself some time and do the things that your heart desires? Have you learned that yet from Ketu?
Definitely, I will say yes to that. But studies as a whole is seen as a very weird thing. So I'm gonna just speak a little bit upon that.
Hmm.
Studies was very close to me. It is like studies is not in the sense I'm just reading my class books, class notes, and all those things. For me, studies become a very integral part because I was doing what I love, as you told so. Like my hobby, it became like a hobby for me to know more and more things, get more information about the world, and get more information about physics and meditation and various methods in which people see life and philosophies. That became like a very integral part of me. Yeah, and I was very a workaholic, and I'm still kind of a workaholic. I during my ninth, 10th exams, I was studying around 12 to 13 hours a day at that time because I was very wanting to be very focused about it. It did pay off at that time. And now I do the same amount of work or a little more, but I make sure that I don't get burnt out because burnout was very bad at that time. I couldn't control it at all.
And that is one new word that has been added to the Vedic or just in the social norm overall is being burnt out. That was never heard from the previous astrologers or the previous language, but at least we're more
Mhm.
aware of our emotions and our well-being that we're able to feel this word. And I'm seeing this pattern individual after individual after individual that take a break. You do feel burnt out. And that's why work-play balance is so important. And I have numerous people that are going through this Ketu Saturn, not only because of Sadhisati, but usually because Saturn kicks in and in Ketu, it'll make you grind, but you have to find time for yourself. So for you, Ishtawa, we're going to talk about more about your other things. We have been talking and we're going to talk more off camera, but there's one important remedy that I want to give while I have you online and everybody else watching this is that because Venus 11th and it's going to look at the 5th, Venus overall wants balance. There's a word you mentioned in there that's workaholic, right? And going further into your studies, you're going to pursue higher education and you're going to be sitting studying for a large amount of times, right? One remedy that I want to do is make sure you keep your fifth house active, not only your 11th house, but make sure you do the things of the fifth house. Fifth house
Okay.
are the joyful things. Make sure
Mm.
you, if you like, do some dancing by yourself. If you're shy, just close the door, dance, move that energy around. If you're not able to do that, you want to go for some group dancing classes, or you want to do pottery, or you want to do painting, or you want to do anything creative that can be listed under the fifth house, right? Sometimes creative, like if you have a little young nephew and nieces, you want to come on the weekends or read some books with them, or you want to pick up a coloring book. Like just say, like, hey, adults do it. Some doctors prescribe coloring books sometimes when somebody's stressed out. Like it's so your energy moves like this. So whatever you enjoy, just to unplug from your intense studying over the next few years, to take a break, make sure you activate your fifth house at least once a day so you keep that Venus energy in balance. You're not too focused on one side and forgetting about your other side, okay?
Yes, definitely.
And that kind of heals the whole back pain that you've been feeling, the ancestral karma and stuff like that. We're going to talk
Mhm.
more because that is activating your fifth house is one way of giving remedy to your baggage that you've been holding on to. You have to move that energy around. Otherwise, it shows as painful symptoms through your body when that energy moves. So, to sum up, um, what advice, what top two, three, 4 points, whatever you want to give, someone who's like yourself going through Ketu Mahadasha, if you could talk to yourself behind the camera, Ishtwa, what advice would you give to someone going through Ketu Mahadasha?
Okay, so the first and the foremost advice I would give definitely is nothing is permanent. It will go away with time. It will be snatched away from you if you want it, if you don't want it. Doesn't depend on you. The only thing you can do is plan about it. Second thing is you don't have control over your results. You only have control over your work. So there's this topic that I've been searching upon for a long period of time. It's called Karma Yogi. I hope people search up on this topic of Karma Yogi. And if a person adapts that kind of mindset, it gets much easier to go through life as a whole, not only Mahadashas and Dashas. It becomes much easier. That's the second point. Third point, sir, as you mentioned, balance becomes an integral part. Balance becomes a very integral part. You can do anything you like just to balance things out in your life if you're having burnt out. And the fourth, not the least important, but very important, according to me, is as I said, things are temporary. I'm also going to say people are temporary. Some people will go away from your life. Maybe it's for the better good. And I'm going to say one thing for sure, trusting in your universe, if you're being righteous, is absolutely the best thing to do. It will definitely help you out. It will not let you down. Maybe you have some karmic debts. It will burn that away. And as soon as that is burned out, you're gonna get help. You're definitely gonna get help. Because if dharma works, then this has to work. There's no other way. So, and be humble as much as you can. There's always gonna be someone who's better than you, who's doing better in any field that you're talking about. And yeah, keep working hard and diligently as you told. That's it.
But these
Thank you.
are some amazing wise words from such a young soul to everyone watching today that we have learned. Look, time heals. Okay. So time never stays the same. Ketu moves so fast, Antardashas move so fast. Things will get better. Then, second thing, doesn't matter if it's a rainy day, it's a tough day, it's a sad day, show up and do your part in the world. Showing up matters. Next thing we learn is surrender. Don't ex don't get attached to your results. For example, some people that are watching young adults, don't get attached to the marks outcome. Do your 100% and let the universe do its part. Let the universe reward you in a beautiful way for your hard work. And along with studying hard, balanced lifestyle is very important. Don't always be about studying, studying, studying that you forget to have fun or live life a little bit. And lastly is don't get attached to anything, whether it be marks, clothes, friends, anything. Everything is temporary. We're just here as a witness, witnessing this divine play. Anything can be stripped away from you. And one wise word that I want to share with you going into Venus, everybody, enjoy Venus Mahadasha. I've kind of made a video on how to prepare, but as a message, don't get attached to one particular thing in Venus because Ketu comes at the end of Venus, it will strip that away from you. If you're too much attached to your job, your position, Ketu will take that job away at the end of Venus Mahadasha for you. So remember, live light, enjoy life a little bit, always smile. So I want to thank you for such a young, wise soul for coming today. Thank you, Ishtawa, for giving your time, for sharing your experiencing and enlightening so many hopes and putting hope into so many young souls out there watching this today. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me an opportunity to give me such a good platform to speak. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
everyone, for watching this. I hope everybody learned something out of it. And please do understand, sir. Sir is trying to help us so much without taking anything away from us. So please understand. I hope. Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.